that. You're welcome to Health of Fitness on Impact Africa Television. My name is Adeyemi Alatishi. I'll be taking you through a normal routine, where the dietitian talks and where we go to the gym to sweat it out today. So keep it fit, stay tuned, I'll be right back.
Are you ready? Yes. Alright, so music.
Arthritis is a state of health that affects the joints of the body in a negative sense. A lot of people forget that arthritis is not just about the knees, because people erroneously believe that arthritis only affects the knees when they're having that pain, and they believe they've gone to see the doctor and they say, oh, you have arthritis. A lot of people connect it to the knees alone, but arthritis can actually happen in different parts of the body. But basically, it's a health condition that attacks the joints of the body. It could be the phalanges, it could be the elbow, it could be arthritis of the shoulders, and it could be arthritis of the hip bone, arthritis of the knees, or arthritis at the ankle space. This is a health condition that causes friction between two parts of the joints. Sometimes you have a cartilage in between the joints. If I talk about the ball and socket joints now, you have a cartilage in between, and there's something we call the amniotic fluid, which is released most of the time when we are warming up for exercise, which is the reason why we don't go straight into exercise. As you are warming up, the amniotic fluid is released to every joint of the body. It's more like a lubricant that makes every joint flexible to go into hectic exercise or high intensity training. Now, for people that have arthritis, there is friction between those two bones, and when they are training, sometimes there are several reasons. When we get there, we talk about the reasons why some people get arthritis while they exercise in bad posture. For exercise, there are also good postures for every unit. Now, some people develop arthritis not because they were predisposed to bad training. They had other reasons why they got into that position. Sometimes bad diet as well. Some don't have enough calcium in their diet consistently. Then it affects the joints. Some now have to come to exercise because whether they have arthritis or not, they have to exercise to get those joints that are tight free of friction. That is when we start dealing with it. A lot of people ask this question, that can arthritis be cured? It's a health condition that is better avoided than to get it. In most cases, it doesn't go completely. If the person just started, there's a possibility for it to heal. But if it has become chronic, it doesn't actually heal completely. The only thing we advise such a person to do is to put in more calcium into their diet, and they should exercise. That helps the condition. It really reduces the pain. It is not as bad as it is before the person starts treating. With diet, I was mentioning calcium. For people who have joint issues, a lot of people even go away from orthodox medicine and they go into organics. A lot of people now have had their eyes opened to taking organic foods rather than going into orthodox medicine. Be that as it may, orthodox medicine is not bad, because that is the solution we all have to different health conditions, and it works, especially if you speak to the real professionals when you speak in the medical field. But in your own little way, if somebody has arthritis and you have to deal with it, like we said first, definitely you have to exercise. As bad as it is, a lot of people ask that question: if you have arthritis, can you actually exercise? Because this is a health condition that has hit your joints, and you need all your joints for movement when it comes to exercise. We have a lot of patients that have been referred to us by their GP to come and exercise despite the fact that they have arthritis. But we have to take them professionally, predisposing them to some routines that can actually make that condition get better, and they are relieved and the pain is not as bad. But when you look at the diet for anybody who has arthritis, they have to ensure that consistently they put a lot of foods that has calcium in it. We talk about egg, we talk about milk, we talk about chewing bone. So which means if you buy your meat, you buy meat that has little bone and some cartilage in it, you chew it. The marrow in the bone actually helps to give the body the calcium supplements that is needed so that those joints can heal. But there is orthodox medicine actually prescribed to them by their GP, which also improves the health condition. But we major a lot on the kinds of exercise that one can do to alleviate the pain for patients that have arthritis. Most of them definitely have weight gain because of the weakness of the joints. They get a bit lazy, they get into the sedentary kind of life, and then when they start all that, they begin to add weight, and their doctors send them back because weight is an enemy of arthritis. It keeps putting more pressure on those joints. Calcium is basically what you should look for in your diet if you are an arthritis patient. yes, it can affect children, but it's majorly found in middle-aged people and adults. There are some children that have conditions of low supplements in their body right from birth. A lot of children are born through a pregnancy period where the mother probably was sick in pregnancy and she couldn't eat well. And that's the reason why the doctors prescribe some supplements to pregnant women, because as the baby is forming from the first trimester to the second trimester and third trimester, there are different things the doctor will say to the pregnant woman. A lot of children go through some conditions while they are still in their mother's womb, because when the mother is pregnant, she's not eating enough foods with calcium, and when the baby is being fed through the placenta, the baby too is not getting enough calcium, and some of these babies even draw calcium from other parts of the body. I remember my doctor said the same thing to me when I was sick and I was about having my first child. I was just falling sick and she kept saying, if I don't take enough calcium, the baby will draw calcium from my teeth, from my hair. And that's why some women lose their hair during pregnancy and they think it's the pregnancy that predisposes them to it. The reason for all those kinds of things, sometimes they even lose their teeth. They have a lot of bad teeth, they have to pull it out just because they lack calcium in their meals, and the little they have taken, the baby has taken out of it. If a baby does not find enough calcium, when that child is born, their bones will be weak. So a pregnant woman should eat complete diet so that when the baby is coming, the baby is strong enough. But arthritis shouldn't be a kind of health condition that a child should be predisposed to, but a few children actually have it. Some have injuries of the joints that if it's not taken care of, it leads to arthritis, but it's usually basically for middle-aged and older folks. It comes in stages, but in most cases people don't know until it gets worse. Sometimes some people, you can be walking beside a person, maybe you are just going on a road walk, and you hear the knees of that person sounding while you don't hear yours. Under a normal circumstance, if you are walking, nobody should hear how the joint folds and comes back as you are walking. I once had a friend that always, when we have to take a walk, you keep hearing the joints move each time she takes a step. And I remember asking her that question. Something is wrong. She said she just hears the sound, but she didn't do anything about it. Into 3 to 4 months, I called her and I asked her about the knees. That has she stopped hearing it? Has she seen a GP? She said she actually went to see the specialist and they said she already has arthritis. At the initial stage, some don't have it. Injuries lead them to it. If you have any injury of the joint, any joint, you have to see your doctor so that you have an x-ray done and let them say that you are fine. Let them prescribe to you what you need to get the healing. Sometimes even we tell some of our clients that come to the gym when they have joint issues, not arthritis now, we tell them take a rest of this period and we tell them the soft exercises they can do. You can do yoga. Yoga helps you get flexible and it releases enough amniotic fluid to lubricate every joint. If you have an injury of any joint and is not treated to time, it graduates into arthritis. There are also people who have upper body weight which is too much for their lower bodies to carry. You see some people with slim legs, it's actually genetic. Some families have, when they are big, the weight is spread evenly around the body. And there are some people whose bodies are just big up. They have slim arms, slim legs, but they are just big in their torso to the neck and head region, which means the upper body is too weighty for the lower body to carry. And when it sits on those joints from the hip to the knees to the ankles, it begins to put pressure on it. And that's why doctors will tell patients with arthritis they have to go to the gym to drop that weight and control what they eat in their diet so that they can have a healthy weight, so they have less pressure on those joints. Thank God we live in an age where everybody can get information online. The easiest way to go about it, if you are ignorant of this, you could just ask Google. Foods rich in calcium. It brings out a list for you. I was talking about you chewing the bone of your, sometimes you even cook fish. Don't just throw the bones away. You can actually chew and swallow. It gives you roughage and it helps you draw something from that bone. Like the cow bones now. Some people even go and buy the bones. they break it, they tell the people who sell it to break it. There's this white substance you find in between. They actually tell them to cook it and eat more of it. Their body receives calcium from it. Any food that supplies calcium is what you basically need for the strengthening of your bones, so that you can alleviate the pains that people get from arthritis, plus exercise, because movement is very important. If you take foods that has calcium in it and you live a sedentary life, it means that the joints are still stiff, you are still not solving the problem. So I would advise that you get foods rich in calcium and also exercise for flexibility. Fruits are generally basically good for everyone for several reasons. You hear people say they go on fruit fasts. You may not eat the proper food, but you are taking fruits, probably because you want to lose weight. Now, the advantage of taking fruits is the fact that it releases most of the vitamins, the nutrients, the phytochemicals that we want, that the body needs for healthy living. There are different kinds of fruits. We have some fruits that are averagely sweet. There are some that are really sweet. Some are not even sweet as such. But the beauty in taking fruits is that it helps you break cells. As we grow older, our cells are no more increasing. But for children, as their growing cells are breaking, bones are forming, and they supply something to the body. That's why they look younger than the older folks. But as we get to the middle age and we are aging, we realize that our cells are no longer breaking, and we have to make conscious effort to give supplements back to the body so that you can at least refresh your cells and get better. Fruit eating helps your skin to glow. It helps your digestive system. It gives you a healthy gut. For a lot of people who take a lot of foods like carbohydrates, some eat basically carbohydrates, they don't look out for the nutrients they need in their foods. The fruits help cells to break. It also beefs up your immune system, and that is what we basically tell people to take with their meals. And that's why if you're taking a 3-course meal, for your appetizer, it's basically on fruits, which makes you more hungry, opens the body to receiving the food. The food is the main meal, and then you have a dessert at the end of it. Fruits are very basic and important in our meals because it helps us ward off sicknesses. Anybody who doesn't take enough fruits, they are predisposed to a lot of sicknesses. And you see, when somebody is recuperating in the hospital, you hear them say, take a lot of fruits, because now your healing process is going on. The fruits would aid the healing. There are also fruits that can actually predispose you to weight gain depending on how you eat it. That's another topic entirely. Some sustain injury from accidents. If there was an accident and the joint was not taken care of medically, then it gravitates towards the condition that brings them into arthritis. If it is not that you go out of your way to do the wrong things, arthritis is not something that just comes upon people. A lot of people get it by accident, which is not the doing of anyone. And some get it as a result of carelessness. When the diet is not good enough, that means your bones are not strong enough. And when such people even exercise, they do normal exercise, not even as if they are lifting as such. Before you predispose them to a position where they do 1 or 2 exercises, they begin to develop pains. And so we even always advise, when you come to the gym and you are doing weight training, we have braces for elbows, we have carpal tunnel brace, we have knee braces as well, which you need to guard your joints with when you are doing weight training. A lot of people actually develop arthritis if they are being trained in the gyms by instructors that are not professionals or certified into the field. And that's why we advise our clients, whenever you really want to do exercise, please find out which gym you are going to join. Whoever is in charge at the place, are the instructors actually trained as professionals to handle your situation? Otherwise, if they are half-baked or not baked at all, going through exercise by an instructor who is not trained can actually predispose you to arthritis. Now, looking at everything we've talked about, we always tell everyone, eating right is not the only thing. Exercise is not a means to an end like people do. It's supposed to be a lifestyle. A lot of people believe that when they are fat, they want to come down, they come to the gym. Or they are slim, they want healthy weight gain, they come to the gym and they believe that's all there is to exercise. But what we say is that weight loss is just 20% of what you gain when you exercise. There are different benefits of exercise, which is a topic on its own entirely. Someday we'll come to that, but I like to tell you, it's good for you to exercise, it's good for you to eat right, it's good for you to watch what you drink, hydrate enough, and have enough intermittent sleep and power naps in the middle of the day or siestas. Putting all these things together, you have your total well-being, which brings you into sound health. That's what we have for you today. My name is Omolola Aduroja, the CEO of L&L Fitness, Art Gallery and Gym. I'm also the Director of Sports of the Ever Increasing World Ministries. I'm into sports evangelism. See you next time. God bless you.
And that'll be all for today on Health and Fitness on Impact Africa Television. My name is Adeyemi Alatisha, and I'll see you next time.